That was Four by Miles Davis with Sarah on tenor sax, Morgan on trumpet, and Will on tenor sax. The next piece we're going to play for you is Angel Eyes. And it starts off with Neftali on tenor trombone, going to Jason Potts on trombone, and then going to Andrew on alto saxophone. To say that I've enjoyed teaching this group is put it mildly. They've been a blast. They've actually been wonderful. The things we get to talk about and they get to do and hurt my ears and then back off. It's great. The next thing is that I need to give an Outstanding Jazz Musician Award. There are many, obviously. there's obviously many outstanding jazz members in this group. They're all incredible. I mean, they made tremendous progress. They asked me one time to come improv with them, and it was a very bad mistake. And they've never asked me again. So I think that was a hint. Anyway, this young man has been in All-State Jazz for 2 years in a row. He's been absolutely consistent, and you heard him play just now. He's an outstanding young man, and I'm very happy that this year's recipient of this award is Jason Potts. Final piece we're going to play is Horsepower by Fred Sturm. Obviously, it's horsepower. It's meant to be pretty intense, so sit back and enjoy. All right, if you'll bear with us for a little bit, we're going to get concert band up here as soon as possible and continue our concert. Thank you.
Concert band under the direction of Chris Shelby. We've all just finished our contest season, and the students on stage earned a sweepstakes award, which is every group that we've had here at Har-Ber. They have kept up that tradition, and you're going to enjoy what they have to present to you this evening. This is the concert band under the direction of Chris Shelby.
Got one award to hand out for this group. This goes to a young lady who pretty much took care of all the things that I didn't want to take care of in the middle of rehearsal, which meant running to the band room, getting pencils, doing whatever I pretty much needed her to do. It was without her in rehearsal, it would have been we wouldn't have got near as much done. So the conductor's award for the concert band goes to Alyssa Fernandez. For our last song tonight, it's generally not something that I would do to close with a slow, pretty song. If you're playing a rock and roll band, ending with a slow, pretty song is kind of a killer. And this one is. And they worked really hard. They loved to play it. And we're going to finish our part of the concert with When the Stars Begin to Fall.
We're going to do another set change. Symphonic Band, if you will make your way up here, we need to get our percussion and set up our front band.
The band on stage now is our Symphonic Band. Before they get started, I'd like to recognize, I know we've got Mr. Harris here, any of our administration at the district level or at their building level, and our classroom teachers here at Har-Ber. We are supported in this school and in this school district. The arts are supported, and our band programs have a storied history in Springdale, and I love working here because all these kids dressed in blue really do get a fair shake here. If you're a teacher at Har-Ber or a principal or one of our administrators, would you stand to be recognized at this time? It's no secret at this point that as our school district grows, our directors are spreading out everywhere. And as a new middle school is opening on the east side of town, Sonora Middle School, they've got a great band director because our own Mr. Mitchell has decided to go be a part of opening that brand new school. For 6 years, we have worked together here at Har-Ber, and he's done outstanding work with our students. They know it, I know it. And there's some really fortunate beginners that are going to come through the doors of Sonora Middle School who are going to really benefit from a great teacher. We want to tell Mr. Mitchell how much we've appreciated our time with him and show our appreciation. I know there will be other things, but from me and my band boosters, we wanted to say thank you to him and best of luck and well wishes as he continues his career. Mr. Mitchell, if you'll come at this time.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to try to not get too emotional yet. We're going to start off this performance with a Gavorkna and then go straight into Dusk. And the best part of my job has always been the students. And I'm going to take your memory with me. Thank you very much. needless to say, it's a challenge to do this job without the help of students. They keep me, hey, you're supposed to be doing this, or Mr. Mitchell, what about this? Mr. Mitchell, I need this. Mr. Mitchell, you're supposed to get this ordered. I think we still need to order reeds. There's just tons and tons of stuff that they do. And so the Conductor's Award, like Mr. Shelby said, when we pass this out or choose the person who receives this, it's a person that my job would be infinitely more difficult without their contribution and their help. This individual, she's copied music, she's come up and she's checked. I think today she reminded me that we need to order boxes for music to be put in. I mean, it's just awesome. It's very awesome. So this year I chose Mary Tetrick as my Conductor's Award. A little bit taller. Along those lines, I want to discuss a group of people that you don't really see this time of year. They are our loading crew. Mr. Ford and I don't really lift any of the equipment. I might help out occasionally. Normally, I'm either gathering something or getting something or fixing something, or we're dealing with 100 other things, or we're still rehearsing or playing during a football game. We do not do the loading of the truck, which is millions. I mean, it's a lot of money, and they load it safely without killing each other, and we get to places without wrecking, and it's all still good equipment. So to say that the loading crew just can't live without them, and so this year I would like the loading crew to stand up, and also I want to recognize Logan Hodge for being an outstanding captain this year. Loading crew, you please stand.
Could we get Mrs. Mitchell to come up here? And the kids. Kids too. Come on. Oh, yeah. Come on. Come on.
For those of you who don't understand, I didn't know the meaning of drama until that one came along.
That's okay. We'd like to present Mrs. Mitchell with some flowers because she gives up Mr. Mitchell for us.
Okay. We love you so much, Mr. Mitchell, and Miss Mitchell, and little Mitchells. We wanted to present you guys with a little gift from us. I know how much you love Red Robin, so we got you guys some gift cards to Red Robin so you guys could go out as a family and so you guys can have a nice dinner. You're welcome.
If any of you have met Mr. Mitchell, you know he's naturally hyper, but he's always drinking these Bing energy drinks. So we got him a case. We all love you, Mr. Mitchell.
Each year, we give out most improved and outstanding awards to our sophomores and juniors. Just one student per grade per award. we're in the business of improving students, and they're in the business of improving, as you can tell. So there is no runner-up. The most improved award is not a runner-up to the outstanding award. It's just another way of saying, good job, kiddo. So we have selected, these students vote on these. We don't 100% of the time go with what the students voted this year. I think every single one of them were matched by the students because we all see the same things for an entire year, and you know how much time we spend together. So you find out what a person's made of in a year. And so we never give the same award twice. So if they won it as a sophomore, they're not going to win it as a junior, and we like to spread it around. But anyway, these are 4 special people that we'd like to recognize out of 200 special people. The Most Improved Sophomore Award this year goes to a student who, when we had our initial band tryout, didn't have her best day, and that happens sometimes, we know. Job interviews, auditions, those type things, tests. It doesn't always go great. She did not quit, and weeks later, she made the All-Region Band. So our hat is off to her, and she has done an outstanding job. Lauren Brooks, come accept the Most Improved Sophomore Award. I think the juniors and seniors will agree with me that there were many, many outstanding sophomores this year. This school year has been the most grueling I've ever seen a band go through in my career, with all the things that were on our plates and that we had to accomplish in a limited amount of time. Our marching band was done with no after-school practice this year because of the Midwest Clinic, and these kids stepped up. And I told the sophomores, if they enjoyed marching band last year, they're really going to love it when we have a chance to rehearse next fall. So out of all those kids, the students were pretty divided on this. They've done a great job, sophomores, and I want to tell you all that. Katie Cooper will represent them, doing a great job this year. Outstanding sophomore flute player, Katie Cooper. This student has thick skin and a big heart. Will accept criticism and not get down about it. We have a lot of kids like that, but he has just scratched and clawed to get where he is, and it's that work ethic coupled with a great talent that's going to, I'm just excited to see what he chooses to do later on in life. Braden Stevens, Most Improved Junior. This is one of the quietest guys in our band. He's our outstanding junior. He speaks softly, and I think he carries a pretty big stick because nobody really messes with him very much. He's made All-State as a junior 2 years in a row. First band, was the second chair in the state this year, made All-State Jazz Band for 2 years, and he is a artist. He's a musician that is dedicated, and everybody knows that. Jason Potts, outstanding junior.
Okay, for the last piece we're going to play is called Inchon. It's basically about the Korean War, and the helicopters are landing, and you'll understand soon enough. But so when you hear them, it's helicopters. Okay, so without any further ado, here's Inchon. We're going to do another set change for the wind ensemble, so if you'll bear with us, we'll get started as soon as possible.
We've got several presentations between these pieces, and like I said earlier, I keep saying that we're going to try to keep it brief, and you know what? That just makes it longer. So we're not. We're going to go slow. The first person I'd like to introduce to you is the professor of percussion at the University of Arkansas. He's also a composer and arranger of music for bands. In particular, he's a scholar on Percy Aldrich Granger. And we got to work with him for an entire semester in preparing our band to perform at the Midwest Clinic this year. We were able to premiere a piece of music arranged by Mr. Ragsdale for band, written by Percy Granger on the 50th anniversary of Percy Granger's death. And the whole process of watching that music be created and bringing it to the students every day, and us working on bringing something new to life was really career changing for me, and I learned a lot. Mr. Ragsdale is here with us this evening, and he has a presentation to make to the Wind Symphony. Welcome Chow Ragsdale as he comes.
Thank you, Mr. Ford. It was just about a year ago that Mr. Ford, Miss Ellison, and I sat down to talk about producing a new piece of band music for the Har-Ber High School Wind Ensemble, a Wind Symphony, to perform for the 2011 Midwest International Band and Orchestra Clinic. We ended up deciding on a 5-movement suite of choral pieces by the famed band composer Percy Granger, based on texts by the British author and poet Rudyard Kipling. The band and Mr. Ford worked through several rewritings of all the movements as we worked together to retain the sound of the choral original while transferring the music to the medium of the concert band. I have to congratulate and commend Mr. Ford for his courage in playing a brand new, never performed piece on the most important stage any band can hope to perform on. And I have to commend the band for their patience and hard work in seeing their jobs through to completion. For those of us who were at both concerts, the one here in Springdale and the one in Chicago last December, their performance of the Granger Jungle Book Suite was simply thrilling. I'm pleased to present Mr. Ford and the band with a newly engraved set of parts and a large format score of the piece they brought to life. The score and a recording of their performance will soon have permanent homes in the Granger Library in White Plains, New York, in the offices of the International Percy Granger Society in Buckinghamshire, England, excuse me, and at the Granger Museum at the University of Melbourne in Melbourne, Australia. Every band musician who ever plays these pieces will be able to read the inscription to the Har-Ber High School Band as they learn their parts. The inscription on the score reads, quote, "These settings of some of Percy Granger's favorite compositions were premiered by the Har-Ber High School Wind Symphony of Springdale, Arkansas, conducted by Jeremy Ford for the 2011 Midwest International Band and Orchestra Clinic in Chicago. The arrangement is dedicated to those students and to Mr. Ford." So Mr. Ford and band, here we go. New addition to your library.
We have lots of guest conductors on this part of the program, and the first is certainly not the least. Please welcome to the stage my friend and one of my mentors, Miss Jan Bozeman, to conduct our first piece. Miss Bozeman. Miss Bozeman, you can come back out here. For about the last 3 years, I've been doing my best to watch my manners, and Mr. Mitchell too, and keep Miss Bozeman here at work with us. And then her husband has been doing his best to get her on the back of a motorcycle and leave town and not have her at work with us. Well, we finally lost that battle, Jerry, wherever you are, and happily so, only that she gets to do whatever she wants to do. That's what I've always told her. She gets to call the shots. And when we opened Har-Ber, it was me and Miss Bozeman here. There was no assistant band director, and she came from Southwest. And with 88 sophomores, we started trying to do band at a new high school in Springdale and start new traditions. As I said earlier, she's been a mentor to me. She's been somebody that calms me down. She says, "No, Jeremy, you're just panicking, that's all." And I say, "Yes, ma'am." And I just, she has that effect on all the students. We will miss her. She's guaranteed us, Mr. Bozeman, that we're going to have her sometime. She's going to come and help us for free. What a bargain. But we want to tell her, I know that all the students will agree with me when I say this, we want to tell her how very much we'll miss her presence every day in our band room, and how much her leadership and love has meant to our students and to the faculty here. Miss Bozeman, we will miss you, and we hope that you enjoy your retirement. Come out here, please.
Thank you so much. I want to tell you how much fun I've had. This has just been a joy, and it's been a pleasure. It's been fun to work with these three guys and Mr. Watt at Southwest. They keep you young, and they keep you going home, sitting down on the couch, taking a lot more naps than you had ever intended. But this evening is for our students, and they have been such a blessing. Every day you come in, and they're encouraging. And not only are they excellent musicians, they're encouraging people. And I'm so excited as we get to watch, all of us, to see the gifts that God has put in them and the talents He's given them, and watch them come to fruition over the years. And that's my joy, to watch these kids grow up. You're going to make us all proud, and we look forward to watching you. So on this evening, congratulations to you, and especially to the seniors for all of your accomplishments, and I do wish you well. Thank you so much.
And the hits just keep on coming. Every ensemble has given a conductor's award, and this one is no different. This group could tell you, and that group could also tell you that this does not work without every single person giving their best effort. And that's true of this group as well. But our conductor's award does go to someone who's stood out as going above and beyond the call. Again, many of our students. But somebody who will spend a lot of extra time doing things that make the group work and never seek recognition. To me, that's a picture of integrity, doing something for the right reason and not for the right recognition. But sometimes you do get recognition, and this is just a Skittle, right, kids? Skittles? Okay, they understand what I mean. So the Skittle goes to Alex Sharam for the Conductor's Award for the Wind Symphony. There are some awards that we give tonight that go on a perpetual plaque that hangs in the band room. Those have actually already been inscribed and will be hung up tomorrow. I'm fiddling with this thing. Make it work for me. Okay, good. We inscribe plaques that stay in the band room, and they'll stay in there for as long as the school stands, I suppose. And that one that you've already heard is the outstanding jazz musician that went to Jason Potts. That'll go on a perpetual plaque that will hang in the band room forever. Another one that is recognized the same way is our Legacy Award. The Legacy Award goes to students who have been recognized for 3 years of placement in the Arkansas All-State Band. A very difficult task I mean, there's luck involved, and there's preparation involved, and there's, oh my gosh, hopefully I'm not number one involved, so many things. And so we've had students every year place for 3 years, sophomore, junior, and senior year in the All-State Band. And this year, the Legacy Awards recipients are Zach Ford and Carly Panalto. My career started in Farmington, Arkansas, just down the road as their junior high band director, but I was only there for 1 year. When the director of bands at the University of Arkansas, Dale Warren, called me and said, "Jeremy, you're moving to Sallisaw, Oklahoma. They want a husband and wife team. You and your wife are going to take those jobs. It's a sleeping giant. You got to go." And I generally have done what he told me to do in my career, and it's worked out okay. So we moved to Sallisaw. And I've told the kids some stories, but the kids used to go in after school when I got there and put golf balls down on the carpet and use chipping wedges inside the band room to send the golf balls into the drywall. And so when I got there were hundreds of golf balls and it had been a pretty nice band room, but it wasn't anymore. Cartons of spent cigarettes in the ceilings of this room, where kids would crawl up in the ceiling tiles and have fun. They weren't having band when I went there, and me and my wife, who's in attendance tonight, took over the jobs and started trying to change things. That freshman class, we had a 9 through 12 high school. That freshman class really were the students that got a new vision for what band could be in Sallisaw, Oklahoma, and turned that ship completely around. One of the students that was a freshman in that band is about to conduct this band. He got his music degree from the university, didn't get his education degree, and then went out in the world of work, and then decided I was right all along and he needed to teach. So he's returned to finish his degree, and guess where he got to do his internship? With these students. And it's been a joy to have him to work with our students and our history of knowing each other for 14 years, and my thankfulness to him for being one of the people that helped right the ship for hundreds of kids in a little town in Oklahoma is something that I will always thank him for. He gets to drive the Ferrari now, so we're going to welcome John Land as he comes to conduct Persicetti's pageant. percussion, go ahead and wait on the piano because that's going to be a little crazy, and we're going to tune while we bring it out, so it's cool. Just chill out for a minute. They'll be moving buses back here while we're giving awards. So, the next award we have to give is called the Director's Award for Meritorious Service. It again hangs in the band room and has a perpetual plaque that has all the students who have received it since we opened the school. There are lots of students. You saw those loading crew students stand and be recognized that spend a lot of time inside a semi or putting stuff into a semi truck or gathering up stuff and putting it where it goes. There are also folks who show up and clean Bud Walton Arena and for very little compensation for themselves and a lot for the band and work the fish fry, you name it. There are tons of opportunities to serve. And it seems like to me and Mr. Mitchell and to Ms. Piker that we can hardly remember one event ever in 3 years that this student's been at our high school that this student was not helping, whether it be wiping tables at a fish fry or sweeping or mopping Bud Walton Arena or loading equipment into a truck. And so with the support of the students here, we'd like to give this year's Director's Award for Meritorious Service Award to, drumroll, Wes Stevenson. Individual musicianship is what we're all about. That's what my philosophy and Mr. Mitchell's philosophy drives this band. We're always after trying to make the individual player better. And as much time and effort as they're putting into our marching band, and we hope that you enjoy that, that's not the center of our program. Our center of our program is how well each individual student prepares, performs, and improves each year. So our Arion Award for musicianship is a national award that's given once per school to one student in each school, and it's given to a senior who has shown an outstanding dedication to improvement on their instrument, and so we've got a lot of those, quite honestly, but the students and I and Mr. Mitchell agree that this year's Arion Award for Outstanding Musicianship goes to senior Carly Panalto. Carly. I used to try to say a lot of things about this award, and I found that it's best to just read it right off of the certificate itself. The John Philip Sousa Award for Band is the highest honor that can be bestowed upon a senior, and it can be given once only per school, and the qualifications are right on the certificate. In recognition of outstanding achievement and interest in instrumental music, for singular merit in loyalty and cooperation, and for displaying those high qualities of conduct that school instrumental music requires, the John Philip Sousa Band Award is hereby presented to Zach Ford. Okay, now let's get out the piano. We're gonna have a little bit of a set change because we gotta bring out a 9-foot piano. So if you guys need to stand up and stretch, I certainly understand. Percussion, if you guys will move stuff right now. Alan, if you'll give us 3 notes, please. Find out what you want to do. Find somebody that's good at it and who's been where you want to go, and then emulate them. It's a good plan for success. Figure out what you want to do. Find somebody that's good at it and do what they did. You'll be really fortunate, too, if they're very giving of information and if they're willing to share what they know. If you find somebody like that, you've got a real gem. And I interned at the university, from the university, I interned at Springdale in 1996. And I did that internship at Helen Tyson with my father-in-law, Bob Civils. And the first hour, I was with Miss Pat Ellison at Springdale High School. And I really didn't know if I wanted to teach at that moment. I'd already told my wife that if I didn't like this, I wasn't doing it. And what I got to observe first hour in Miss Ellison's rehearsals were students that were totally engaged and loving what they were doing, wanted to make her happy, and loved music. And I fell in love with teaching, watching her do what she did at Springdale High School for so many years. And since this school is open, she's been a mentor to our students and a mentor to me. And you always need somebody that can walk in your office and close the door and say, "What in the world are you listening to? What are you thinking?" You know, and she's been that for me. She was going to conduct at the Midwest Clinic the Intermezzo by Puccini, and had made plans to make that trip, and other medical plans got in the way, and she had to have a procedure right before we left that meant that she couldn't go and couldn't conduct on that concert. Well, we're going to close that circle here tonight, because the piece that she was going to conduct in Chicago, she's here to conduct with us. And we're so pleased to have her and so proud that she's with us this night. And so welcome Director of Bands, retired from Springdale High School, Miss Patricia Ellison, to the stage.
you hope during your life that you are always aware of your blessings. And sometimes we're not. But I'm aware of this blessing. My life has been so enhanced by these artists. They have enriched me, and they have helped me grow. And I love you with all of my heart. Thank you for making music with me. Thank you.
Each year, we recognize our band booster presidents and let them, in recognizing them, recognize all of you that they represent that have helped in so many different ways, from riding buses to handing out water, to all of the many things, staying overnight on trips that we have. When you move 200 people around Arkansas, and this year from New York to Chicago as well, you need a lot of hands to help. If we could have the house lights up. If you volunteered in any way this year with the band, would you please stand to be recognized by our students? Parents that have volunteered to help, would you please stand? Thank you so much, students. Let's give them a hand. The voice that calls is Miss Piker, and she coordinates all of that. So when she calls you, we appreciate that you've stood and said that yes, you'll be here to help. Keith and Don Carvin, if you would come, please. Keith and Don have served as our band booster presidents this year, and they're receiving a plaque that reads, "With deepest appreciation for outstanding leadership and service in the office of band booster president, presented to Keith and Don Carvin. Thank you for guiding our organization this year. Your efforts and support affords the band the opportunity to represent our community and our state." The Har-Ber High School Wildcat Band. Thank you very much, Don and Keith.
I don't know that any of us can really appreciate how difficult this year's been unless you're a student, director, or administrator. It started about a year ago this time when Mr. Ford learned about the Midwest Clinic and going to perform there. And then it began. But first we had a little road trip to New York City. And then after that, summer vacation, you really don't need all that. Let's go ahead and start practicing for Midwest in July. And then August, the hottest summer on record in Northwest Arkansas. Let's all meet together on a blacktop parking lot and get ready for marching season. And then came marching season, football season, band contest, and as Mr. Ford alluded to, at practicing maybe 60% of normal, this marching band still came within a few hundreds of points of winning the War Eagle Classic again. And I'm going to go ahead and go on record right here to say this next year they will win the War Eagle Classic. Football season, we all had a blast, and we learned, much to our amazement, that we had royalty in our band. Queen? Then came another little road trip. Only this one was only, 12 hours instead of 24 hours on the bus? Piece of cake, right, guys? To Chicago in the Midwest Clinic. If you didn't get a chance to see any of those performances, I'd encourage you to find a DVD, find the recording. It was amazing. These kids represented the school district, the school, the city, and the state with pride. It was amazing. So hats off to them. And then came Christmas. So first semester down, Christmas, enjoy your break, but oh, by the way, you might want to start practicing your all region while you're on break, right? Then came all region, all state. Quite a few of these students made it to all state. And then we came to the assessment that we always do in March and April, the bands. And just want you to know that this band performed a piece that is a level 6. Now, a lot of bands will try a level 5s on their assessment. No one does a level 6 but Har-Ber. And if you're not quite sure what that means, to paraphrase what a student told me, it means it's stinking hard. And so through all this, it was just a pleasure to be involved. My wife and I enjoy it so much. We would encourage any of y'all to get involved. If you have sophomores or if you happen to have ninth graders coming up, you won't regret it. And at this time, we'd like to recognize those directors that have put in such a time and the hard work. Mr. Ford, Mr. Mitchell, Mr. Shelby. Are you here? No? We've got a little gift for you. Is he here? And oh, by the way, Mr. Mitchell, way to go out in style. Very good. Very good job.
We would also like to call up Mrs. Mitchell and Mrs. Ford. We know you all give up your husbands and share them with us. If you would come up here quickly, please.
The band directors do a lot of work, and we also appreciate Miss Piker for all the work that she puts in to our band. She is the mom away from home, since we spend probably more time in the band room than we do spend at our houses. So we just got you a gift to thank you for everything you've done for us over the years.
It's crazy to think about how this is my last concert, but as I look back on the 3 years, I can't imagine going through high school without band. And then I can't imagine going through band without Mr. Mitchell, Mr. Ford, and Miss Piker. So I just want to say thank you to all 3 of them for helping us create an excellence that we can take pride in. I want to thank Tina Huddleston, who helped get a lot of the shirts. And then also my mom, Tanya Tedrick, for making the quilts.
If some of you couldn't tell what that was, it was they've taken all of our marching show shirts and Midwest Clinic shirts and New York City Tour shirts from years and put it into that quilt. So I remember trying to find all the shirts. Miss Piker was bamboozling us because I had to help her find all those shirts, and I thought it was for somebody else. Okay, where are we? Every now and then, we can't get into recognizing every single parent in the house, and I would love to do that. But every now and then, you have a set of parents that starts sometime the kids are in 7th or 8th grade and sticks in there and puts a whole bunch of time and effort and energy and love and care into helping the band and the band boosters and, for years and years on end. And we're going to recognize a few of those. These are parents who have senior students that are graduating. This is not an exit paper. If they would like to stay on as helpers, as advisors in the future, we've got a couple parents that help us that have kids that graduated 15 years ago. I'm thinking about Peter and Patsy Christie right now that you still see at our functions. So this is not an invitation to quit. This is just a thank you as your students graduate for all of the work and time and effort that and energy that you've given to our students. So these are officers in our band boosters who have seniors in our band and who will be graduating this year. We'd like to give this certificate of appreciation in recognition of years of outstanding leadership and service to the Springdale Har-Ber High School Wildcat Band and its students. To Tina Huddleston, Jolinda Casey, if they'll come, and Shauna Ford, if you three would come at this time, please. The most important awards of the night. I don't know if there's a quality that I appreciate in a student or in a teacher as important as not quitting, perseverance. Because we all know that there are days that we would like to just walk right off that marching field, yes? I'm ready to hang this up. Your face is funny. Moments, though, and really the strong don't give in to the moment. Those that love what they're doing stick through the moments of grief or the moments of sadness and push for the higher call, which is to finish the job. And I know a lot of you in this audience are employers. A lot of you work in secondary education, and at higher education. These students seated out here and the ones on stage, and especially the 53 students who I'm about to call their names, they're not quitters. And there are people that decide to do other things because they have other interests, and I'm not calling them quitters. I'm just saying I can guarantee you these aren't. And you may sit across from one of these at your desk, and they may be asking for a job, and I'll let this be one great recommendation that I can give you. They did not quit, and they have done a terrific job. And we give all our students A's. I know I've got a principal here tonight, and I'm just going to fess up. We give A's and F's. If you do your job, you get to wear the uniform. And if you don't do your job, you don't. And so these are people that have done their job for 3 years. I'm extremely proud of them, and as the largest graduating class Har-Ber's ever had, I'm proud to see their legacy add to what we've already started here at Har-Ber. First, strangely enough, Diedrich Tunsing. Diedrich plays trombone, and he's Karina Makeda, clarinet. They're going to stay here and move that way. Kyle Witzigman, flute. I'm going to try to say this whole name. I didn't know there were this many words to the name. Iris? No, I can't say it all. Iris Pineda. Iris, yes. Iris plays trumpet. Nicole Brocious, contrabass clarinet. Olivia Fredrickson, flute, color guard. Joey Reinabo, trumpet. Jordan Godby, clarinet. Carly Knipe, clarinet. Erica Graham, flute. Sarah Zimmerman, tenor sax. Mary Tetrick, flute. Logan Hodge, trumpet.
I think he grinned for a second.
Alex Ross, percussion. Andrew Casey, alto sax. Carly Panalto, clarinet. Zach Ford, percussion. Blake Davis, French horn. Alan Richardson, tuba. Luis Ramirez, French horn. Hasiel Ozzy Rodriguez. Addie Del Pilar. Alina Anima, flute. Zach Ball, alto sax. Spencer Nelson, French horn. Y'all should have seen us do this about 6 years ago. It was comical. We're starting to get it down now. We got a system. Wes Stevenson, trumpet. Craig Huddleston, trombone. When I came to Springdale, Craig was shy. It's the truth, yes? Just saying. Spencer Erickson, French horn. Manuel Avalar, bass clarinet. Neftali Gonzalez, trombone. Kind of starting to feel like I'm on The Price is Right or something. I need a long microphone. Paul Bertram, trumpet. Morgan Ritz, flute. Catherine Snavely, clarinet. I'm going to say the whole name. Alexandria Sharam, flute. Charlotte Height, clarinet. Madison McCauley, oboe and English horn. Mallory Chater, flute and piccolo. Brian Herrera, alto and bari sax. Megan Mounts, French horn. Janet Almazan, clarinet. Emily Rainey, French horn. Renisha Brown, percussion. Alyssa Johnson, clarinet. Meg Owenby, flute. Jordan Patterson. Blake Patterson, look at that. Jordan Blake, who knew? Blake Patterson, percussion. I thought we had a new student in band there for a minute. Jordan Patterson, who knew? Tanner Adams, contra clarinet and B-flat clarinet. Jordan? You've been keeping that secret all this time. Will McDaniel, trombone. Eduardo Almazan, trumpet. Josue Calderon, French horn. Lev Willie, we'll tell this story sometime. Trumpet, baritone, and tuba. Lev Willie. Caleb Shawley, percussion. Quentin Chamley, baritone. Adam Holbert, euphonium. Now, with the 2 ribs I have left, let me say, Mr. Mitchell and I appreciate all of you more than you will ever know. And you haven't gotten to that point in your life yet, probably. Well, you're not looking back on this moment, that's for sure, because we're in it, aren't we? But I hear from students year after year after year. I've had one 14 years ago that just conducted on this concert, that these were some of the most special times in their lives. Could we just, if I could just go back and have another concert, just go back and have another rehearsal. You can't, and this is it for us. We've either played our last note this year or we're about to. But know that as students, you guys started out as our kids and needed to be taught which foot went first. What foot do you step with? Your left, okay. You know, it's funny, I could give a couple commands and march you guys right out that door, and I think you'd keep going all the way to the McDonald's. I know you would. One thing we have never been able to fix overnight here at Har-Ber, we had bands make first divisions from the very first year we opened the doors, didn't we? None of you know what it's like not to do that. We've gone to our band program has been represented at the most important stage in the world, and we've been honored lots of different places. But when we started the school, it dawned on me one day that what we can't fake is tradition. Tradition comes with what? Time. It takes time. And these first few years of this school being open, it's so important to have students like you that are willing to commit to our values and what we want to be all about. And what have we been about? Pride in excellence. We only are proud of what we can do really well. And guys, it's because of that I'm really proud of you. And you've been friends to me. You've been friends to Mr. Mitchell. You've been friends to these guys sitting on stage and in front of you right now. And it's because of your legacy and your commitment that you're going to come back and really hope that the next band's better than you are. Because that's what we do. I appreciate you all. Let me call you up one last time. You're dismissed for the remainder of this concert. Give these kids a hand. Thank you. Stand at ease. All right, you can sit down now. They're afraid to move. But there's one more song. Anything over 3 hours is a hostage situation, so we've got exactly 23 minutes to get out of here. As they're getting set up, I have one more set of people to thank. And it's all of you. One of the most heartbreaking things that happens, and it happens every year, is that when I work in our junior highs and our middle schools, we'll have a Christmas concert, and somebody doesn't show up to the concert. And we have to, as band directors, find out. Go ahead, Chase, it's all right. Okay, gotcha. We have to, as band directors, ascertain why there was an empty chair in a concert for a 7th grade concert or an 8th grade concert or a 9th grade concert. And when the reason was no one would take me to the concert, I didn't have a ride home, and we figure out that that's actually the case. It's just sad. Because I'm looking at a student that really wants to do well. Most of the time, it's a student that is doing well in the class. They ride a bus to school, but for whatever reason, it's a sacrifice, parents, that I know you've made to make sure that all these kids in these uniforms have the things that they need, are where they need to be on time. You put up with them being here late at school, getting here early in the morning. And as sad as that is, the opposite of that is I'm so thankful for you all that would give of yourselves, even though you might rather be watching something on TV right now. You're at this concert enjoying what your students have poured their hearts into here at Har-Ber. I want to say my own parents are sitting right in the middle of this auditorium, and they made sure I was there, and they made sure I had what I needed. There isn't a student on this stage or in this audience that doesn't need you. And they need you to care. And I appreciate so much the fact that they've made it to high school says that you do. And I want to say, and we all want to say together, thank you, Mom and Dad. Let's thank our parents, kids. This group decided a couple weeks ago that we were going to play this piece of music, and it's one of those Keith Carvin referred to. It's a grade 6 piece that's really difficult, and once they decided they wanted to do it, I set to trying to help make it happen. It's a different piece. Music isn't always beautiful, although there are some beautiful moments in this. Parents, don't leave. There's some beauty here. But there's also some strange and some lively and some beautiful. And so this is David Maslankas Give Us This Day. It's subtitled A Short Symphony for Band. It's in 2 movements, so be really sure that the piece is over before you start clapping, because you'll think it's over a couple times. You'll know because I'll set this down. So anyway, this is what the students, this is the last note they wanted to play. The Wind Symphony wanted to end with this, and after the Midwest Clinic, I just decided they could have whatever they wanted. So David Maslankas, Give Us This Day. Thank you so much for coming and for supporting this band program. We appreciate you.
We could have them play an encore, but they can't play one, I can guarantee you. Have a great night. Thank you for coming.